Good morning, Gaia-X community. So great pleasure to be here in Finland and speaking to you. And today I would like to take a little bit different approach than usual because the motto of today's event is show me the code or show me the running and working code. And I want to do just that. Everything you will see is based on free open source code under Apache 2, and the Web3 components are integrated mainly on the Ocean Protocol stack and the Polygon stack here. So let's dive right into that. I would like to propose to you as future builders in the Gaia-X community 5 steps or 5-week plan how to get from 0 to 1 and very concrete actionable steps to get you started building your ecosystem, your data space, your federation, whatever you're trying to achieve actually. So all the links are provided here. Ignore them for now. You can dive in later. Step 1 is actually learn the trust framework. So what does it actually mean? The Gaia-X trust framework gives you semantic interoperability between ecosystems and a common language between spaces. It's mandatory and tells you if you're part of Gaia-X or not. So it determines Gaia-X compliance. You will find it in the lowermost spot here, and each and every ecosystem that is currently building next to each other wants to tap into this trust framework, align with it to become Gaia-X compliant. And with the emergence of the digital clearinghouses in Gaia-X, that will be very clear and tangible, so you get clear results if you're Gaia-X compliant or not. You see different levels of interoperability between the currently emerging ecosystems out there. So that will start and evolve around the different use cases. What we concentrated on first is to make the connection to the trust framework. And how does it look like and where could you start? So let me dive right in here. How it looks like is you can have your service offerings online, displayed in a catalog, for example, like you can see here. And what you're looking for is that these service offerings and the self-descriptions for participants are actually verifiable and in line with the Gaia-X trust framework. To make this very concrete and a little bit technical, as we are about running code here, this is how, for example, a Gaia-X participant self-description looks in the current trust framework. So it specifies you as a participant ecosystem clearly identified as a counterparty you can actually do business with. And how does compliance look like? That you can actually use the Gaia-X compliance service to verify these credentials and get a clear outcome if it is Gaia-X compliant and a trustworthy counterparty you want to do business with. You can do that all down based on verifiable credentials, the W3C models and DID methods, down to the source of trust, the Gaia-X trust anchors. And this functionality is based on the Gaia-X registry you can see here in the current instantiation, and it will clearly tell you, is the trust anchor a valid one, and have you been onboarded to the Gaia-X ecosystem? That's step 1, where we would like to get you started, building on the trust framework and your self-descriptions. Next, it's all about products. We heard about the concept of a data mesh, and data alone is basically nothing. You need to create products that create value for your customers or your research partners. And that's actually the next steps. Once you get self-descriptions in place, you want to describe real products and not on a theoretical level. So for today, I brought 2 concrete examples. This one is from Gaia-X for Future Mobility, Move ID, which is very much centered around mobility, where we actually do road damage detection in a decentralized way, where data is collected in the car and then actually computed in the car, so privacy rights and IP rights are being preserved. One example. Second example from the Austrian-German Lighthouse project, European Production Giganet or EUPRO Gigant, is where actually machine data is computed for various use cases, for example, CO2 footprint calculation, component matching, and others. So how does it actually look like in real life? So you can see it right here. Coming from the catalog, displayed in a portal, you got a ready-to-consume data product. Here we got the self-description. There are also videos inside of that, and the Gaia-X self-description. What you can do as a consumer, if you're eligible to that, and according to the terms and conditions, you can actually start consuming these data service offerings right out of the box. So let me do that by signing it with my private key. And what you see happening, all that is live. The computation now starts, and the ready-to-go product is consumed by the consumer. We can follow all of that in real time as the computation takes place. And what you see here, this is now currently running in the Kubernetes cluster on the back end. You get a full audit trail on each and every consumption, who did what, under which terms and conditions, and then later on retrieves the results for your ready data product. Next one, once you got your first products ready, you want to actually advertise them. You want to show them. So here's a portal overview of portals that are currently up and running and live using this technology stack. And you need them to cater specific information to your target group in your data space and to advertise everything you have been built to come into business. So let's dive a little bit into that. All these portals you can find in the links attached to the presentations. And what is amazing here, they cater specific information needs for your target audience, ecosystem, and data space. But at the same time, they all share a common catalog. So you don't have a login into a specific portal. Once you publish something here, maybe a mobility use case, that's nicely displayed here, it will be retrievable in every other catalog that is run in a decentralized manner and can be consumed from other portals. So the portals do the job to filter down information for your target audience while not locking you into any specific ecosystem. You can do that for mobility, like here with the Gaia-X Hub Netherlands, or maybe even for scientific use case if you want to create a decentralized science community around the world. Or if you want to drive an enterprise marketplace. Everything is open to you. You determine based on your use cases. Connect to others and become a federator. Now you are up and running. You have a product. People can actually consume it, connect to you. What's next? For us, it has been removing all single points of failure and control. Because what you are doing is you are delivering a lot of value to the ecosystem. And you want to make sure that it's resilient. So if infrastructure components or participants are taking services down or are taken out by malicious actors, your ecosystem continues to run. You want to make sure of that. And second thing is economic exploitation. You want to make sure that you get a fair share of the value you create and you can participate in all the business models. For example, the business model of a federator here. And for this reason, we created the GenX Gaia-X Edge network, which is running the federation services, so they don't rely on a central actor anyway. And this GenX network is currently powered by these actors you can see here. It's pan-European, and it's a democratic network. So we have clear, transparent, and accountable votes on all decisions if new participants can enter the ecosystem. The baseline for it is you need to adhere to the Gaia-X Trust Framework and run your service properly. So DeltaDAO doesn't control it. It's a community space open for everybody, but owned by nobody, powered by DLT and smart contracts. Very important concept we talk about a lot, but we narrow it a little bit down is, okay, now you're part of the ecosystem, but what about my data? What is data sovereignty? What does it really mean? And there are different levels of data sovereignty, especially when it comes to critical information like company secrets and personal information. So for that, we leverage the paradigm of computer data. What it actually does is that you as a data owner, as a service provider, you can determine technically where the data is being used and with what software it is actually being processed. So this goes beyond just having a contract and legal liability, but this is technical sovereignty. You can actually enforce what is done with your data, under which terms and conditions and when. And the most important aspect when it comes to the security model, Your raw data, your IP, personal information, does not need to be copied to other infrastructure. So it's not moved to third-party infrastructure that introduces a certain risk, but you can keep it on-premise. You can also keep it on the edge, right on the machine, as you have seen in the service offerings I have just displayed. And this is, in our means, full technical control for security reasons, for compliance reasons, and to make sure that you have the economic right of exploitation of your data, because high-quality data does not come for free. There's a lot of effort and curation in it, and you don't want to give that away just freely and introduce risks if you copy that to 1,000 counterparties. So we need to address this. What you got in the end, overall, in the Web3 ecosystem is you got a decentralized ecosystem that is running a specific instantiation of all the federation services you need to create your data ecosystem, to create your data space, and to run business cases or scientific use cases on this. Starting with the portals, you have a catalog everybody can use and runs in a decentralized manner. You got the contracting service in places decentralized. You can enact payment on this because we want to do actually business. You have a decentralized logging service connected to the trust framework, which all projects need to build on, and the identity is provided as verifiable credentials and can be checked using the trust framework, as you have just seen. The stack is built modular, so in a technical deep dive, let's dive deeper into that, but I would just want to mention 3 layers here that are important. You got front end, you can federate across 1,000 portals, which we will see as Gaia-X is growing. You got backend components you can deploy everywhere, on the edge, on-premise, in a trusted cloud service provider's environment. We don't care, it needs to be agnostic because you don't want any lock-in in your ecosystem as you start growing because of economies of scale. They trigger fast, you want to be free to move around. And underneath that, on the EVM layer, you got the basic federation services that power your business. So, one point I'd like to make, this is a presentation, so don't trust me, verify it for yourself. Try it out, make your experience, that's what you need to make an educated decision, and I invite you to do so, maybe in just 5 weeks to take you from 0 to 1. And the steps are, learn the trust framework. Wherever you go, you need to learn it, you need to master it, so everybody needs to. Start with your concrete application, leave the theoretical layer, go into concrete products as they will deliver value at scale, make it visible, have your own portal, become a federator and learn what it actually is to power your own ecosystem, to participate in governance and make decisions as a community. Because many people are not used to that. It needs time, experience, and you need to establish processes. So better start early than later and stay in control of your data, because once it's out, it's really hard to get it back in. What is next for 2023? Decentralized compliance service, the emergence of the Gaia-X digital clearinghouses, deeper SSI integrations, meaning more wallets, more interoperability, and then moving towards production, because that is what we really need to create value and to create traction here. And I have just one single go-to point if you want to get started, and that's the Gaia-X open source software community. All the projects report back there. This is where the builders meet, where the hackathons are being organized, where you get all the updates, and where you can connect to all the other active developers and builders in the ecosystem. It's open, doesn't require Gaia-X membership at all, happening every Thursday from 9 to 10, and you're very much invited to join us. So let's get started and building. Thank you very much.